Hey neighbors, this is Jerry Snow. I'm a candidate for re-election to the Bella Vista City Council, Ward 1, Position 1. I have been a resident of Bella Vista for the past 29 years. Have been a member of the City Council, well, this time 4 years. I've been a member and enjoy representing and being a representative for the people of Bella Vista.
What motivated you to run for re-election?
I was motivated to run for re-election to be a representative to the people of Bella Vista. I feel like sometimes that the people's voices are not always heard, and that they need someone that listens to them, and I certainly do try to listen to people.
What is your stance on raising taxes or fees to fund city projects? Under what circumstances, if any, would you consider this option?
Well, I'm not for raising taxes for the people of Bella Vista or anything. Can I say anything? There's always a situation where there could be something come up that's just simply requires it. Can't think what that would be at the moment. But no, I am not for raising taxes and fees to fund anything at this point.
What is your vision for the future of our area as it continues to expand? How will you work to achieve that vision if re-elected?
My vision is to try to hopefully maintain that growth. I'm very concerned that we have grown too fast. We have outgrown our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is just not in place to handle the growth that we've had. We got to somehow maintain that growth. But you also got to keep in mind the property rights of the people that own property. People that, if they have property in Bella Vista and they want to build a house on that property, then I'm not sure at the moment that there's any way that we can actually keep them from doing that or restrict them from doing that. I don't think that we can get to the point where we can deny building permits, maybe for a certain situation, but not anything that I can really think of at the moment.
As an incumbent, what do you think demonstrates your ability to lead?
Well, I think my ability to lead is based on my past experience. Your ability to lead as a city councilman means that you should have a wide variety of experiences, and I do that. I have a wide variety. I know a lot about a lot of things and not an expert on anything. But I know a little bit about construction, about mechanics, about the different things that take place in the city. And if I would say that I have my biggest professional accomplishment would be a master's degree in common sense. I think common sense is something that we seem to have just lost contact with in our city today, and sometimes it seems like we just don't stop and take consideration what all the ramifications of a particular approach that we might be taking.
With the low turnout at city council meetings, do you believe there are underrepresented groups in Bella Vista? If so, how will you ensure their voices are heard and considered in your decision-making process?
I think we have so many new people moving to Bella Vista that are moving from areas such as California, New York, Chicago, Dallas, all the major metropolitan areas that have been used to such turmoil in their cities that when they move to Bella Vista, everything's rather quiet, somewhat peaceful, that they just maybe lose interest in what's happening around them. They just feel more of a sense of security than maybe what they felt in the past. It bothers me that people do not show up at council meetings. I'm concerned that maybe the people of Bella Vista are not always listened to and do not always have a voice in what's happening in the city. I represent the people. I tell people I represent them, not the city. I get phone calls from people. I try to respond back to them, but have I missed some? Sure.
How do you view the balance between maintaining Bella Vista's character and accommodating new developments?
I don't think you can maintain Bella Vista's character and accommodate new development. New development is happening. New development is going to continue to happen. I think that whenever you have new development, you remove Bella Vista's character. Bella Vista is not that unique in that we are surrounded by a forest. I know there's other cities that have faced that problem and have dealt with it, but that's not something that I'm really in a position as a city councilman to deal with. I think that's something our planning department will have to look at and deal with, and hopefully they will do that.
What do you think is the #1 issue facing Bella Vista as a community, and how will you impact it if elected?
We got lots of issues. To pick out #1 would be difficult. We got infrastructure issues. We got lots of miles of streets that need repaired. Right now, we're expending something over $1 million a year to resurface those streets. $1 million in many streets, miles of streets that we have. $1.5 million a year is not going to gain any ground. All we're going to be doing is just maintaining somewhat. So streets are a big issue. I think a sewer system is going to be another big issue.
Bella Vista has no official motto. What do you think that motto should be, and why?
That is a deep question, what the motto should be. Of course, Bella Vista means beautiful view. We have all this nature. There's a lot of history in Bella Vista. You know, the Osage Indians at one time occupied Bella Vista. The European Americans started to occupy Bella Vista, I think about the 19th century. So you could take all that history and I think come up with a real meaningful motto. But I think that's a motto for Bella Vista that should be the people's choice. It shouldn't be me as a city councilman. I mean, I can think of all kinds of different things as motto, but I think me as a city councilman, that's something that the people should have a voice in. I think that we should have some kind of a contest. That would maybe generate some interest in the city, in what's happening in the city if we were to do that.
Do you think the Blue Crane acquisition will be good for Bella Vistans?
I think the jury's still out on that question. I don't know at this time because we haven't seen anything that Blue Crane is doing at this point. We haven't seen what their development plans are. I mean, of course, Blue Crane visited with us at a council work session and kind of give us just a basic overview of who they are. I asked at that time what their plans for any commercial development, and they said that commercial development was in their plans. As everyone knows, we need commercial development. If we're going to maintain our income levels, we're going to have those commercial developments. So I'm hoping that Blue Crane will look strongly at that particular situation and encourage some commercial development in the areas where we really need it.
What is your position on short-term rentals?
Everyone probably knows that I supported the short-term rental owners and that their experience with the city. I was opposed to the short-term rental ordinance and the manner in which it was written because I felt like that it was designed to basically just gut the short-term rental owners. And at that time, we had something like 400. And my reason being is that they had been in business, the short-term rental owners had been in business for a year or more. And they had contributed over $100,000 to the city's income. And I felt like it was just totally unfair to them in the manner in which the short-term rental ordinance was being handled. I mean, inspectors were going into checking people's property and requiring them to change out windows. They were going into one particular place. They even opened the cabinets, opened the kitchen drawers, going through drawers and cabinets. That wasn't part of the inspection process, but that's what was happening. I just felt like it was totally unfair to them, and that if that particular group would have been given a grandfather status at that time, grandfathered in, I could have supported the ordinance in the manner in which it was because it needs to require some regulation. The short-term rental owners all seem to agree with it at this point. So I accept it as it is, and if something ever develops that requires some amendments to it, I'm reelected, I will be there to do whatever I think is right for the people.
Do you have any additional thoughts on why people should vote for you?
I hope they would vote for me because of my experience, because of my common sense approach to problems. I do not like the answer, well, it's in the code. I just don't agree with that. Just because it's a code, there should be a reason to why something is being done. Like right now, for instance, now we're in a situation with requiring a permit to change out the hot water tank. I don't see what the purpose of that is. I don't see what service the city of Bella Vista is going to provide to a homeowner in return for a permit to make that change. Rules have been established, and there wasn't any basis for that rule being established. I would hope that that would be the reason that people would want to vote for me, because I have been of service to the people. I have a proven track record of responding to the people, responding to their calls. That's one of the best things about being a city councilman, is that I get to meet so many good people that I would not cross paths with otherwise.